I know you're disappointed, and trust me, I am too.
No goals for the best team in the world, the Club World Cup champions.
Chelsea's Premier League opener this morning at Stamford Bridge.
We always try to win the game. Unfortunately, we didn't win.
It was dull, frustrating, and left us all with that sinking feeling.
You know, you've got Gittins on one side, Neto on the other side. Get them the ball then. If Palace want to jam the middle up, get these two guys the ball. That's why you spent all the money you did on both of them.
Same old problems again. VAR drama, slow possession, and no threat up front. But here's the twist. In the middle of all that, one kid stepped onto the pitch and carried himself like he'd been here for years. By the end, the only silver lining, the only one, was him.
Very good, very good. We already show confidence on Josh last year. He played already some games. Today he did very well. He dealt with Mateta very good. So overall, he did a good game.
Sunday morning, Stamford Bridge. First Premier League game of the season, and what we got was disorder. A 0-0 that felt heavier than a defeat, because it wasn't just about dropped points. It was about how lifeless it looked. Passive tempo, predictable patterns, and a team that played without hunger. And here's the irony. Palace were the ones who felt robbed by VAR. The big calls went against them. Decisions that, on another day, could have turned the match. And yet, even with that slice of luck, Chelsea never took command, never showed authority, never imposed themselves. That's the part that stings. They had every chance to grab the game, but instead they drifted. The crowd's frustration wasn't just about dull football. It was about fortune going Chelsea's way and still no win. By the final whistle, it wasn't about referees. It was about Chelsea. What's really changed? Let's be honest, a lot of this comes down to Maresca's script. The football was too cautious. Endless sideways passes, back to the keeper, repeat. At times it felt like the players were more afraid of mistakes than eager to win. You could almost hear the groans as each attack fizzled before it began. Palace weren't suffocating with pressure. They weren't dazzling. But Chelsea's tempo made them comfortable, moving the ball at a jog instead of with purpose. That's why fans kept saying the rhythm was so slow, and Maresca has to take the blame. Because when the manager's plan is risk-averse, the players mirror it, and the whole team drags. And the urgency? Nowhere. No intensity, no bite. Stamford Bridge waited for a spark to ignite the stands. It never came. Just safe possession, wasted entries, and a side that looked uninspired. Then there's Cole Palmer. Normally, he's the heartbeat of Chelsea's attack, the one who unlocks defenses, who threads passes in tight spaces. But today, he was out of rhythm. His passing was erratic, forcing balls into traffic, cheap giveaways in the final third, decisions that stalled play instead of accelerating it. Stamford Bridge has seen him take over games. So when every touch feels heavy, every choice feels rushed, the frustration doubles. You could see it on his body language too. Shrugs, arms raised, head down. He kept trying, but nothing clicked. And when your most creative player can't find form, the whole attack looks aimless.
Cole Palmer was invisible, as were most of the Chelsea side. But to be quite honest, I think this was just unfortunate that they were coming up against the Crystal Palace side who are clearly match fit, and Chelsea are not match fit.
Chelsea's plan relies on his inspiration, and today it wasn't there. This wasn't just a bad match. It was a reminder of how reliant Chelsea still are on Palmer's brilliance. Without him, the attack looked toothless. But here's the other side. While the attack struggled, the defense discovered a new anchor. Enter Josh, 18 years old, first Premier League start, and he walked into Stamford Bridge like it was his stage. From his very first duel, you could sense it. Composed, decisive, assured. No panic, no hesitation. While senior players looked uncertain, Josh looked measured. He didn't just defend. He carried the ball out with confidence, bypassing Palace's press with maturity. Fans noticed. The panel after the game noticed. Even Maresca noticed. On a day when midfield and attack collapsed, It was the teenager in defense holding things steady. And that's why it stands out. This wasn't a cameo or a quiet debut. This was a kid thrown into the fire under Premier League pressure and looking like the one player not fazed by the moment. In a match full of negatives, Josh was the bright spot. And that's not just me saying it. The panel after the game, they were unanimous. Josh was class today. Direct, simple, no debate.
For Acheampong was phenomenal. I'm sorry, Mateta is one of the best strikers in the league, whether you like it or not. And he actually dealt with him all game.
And when pundits aligned that quickly, you know it's genuine. They highlighted his maturity, how cool he looked under pressure, how clever he was in duels, how he moved the ball like a seasoned pro. Remember, this was his first Premier League start. 18 years old, filling a lineup missing Colwill and Fofana, and he was the one who looked dependable. The fans echoed it online too. Posts, clips, reactions, everyone saying the same thing. Best player on the pitch, the only highlight, future of our defense. In a game defined by disappointment, his name kept surfacing for the right reasons. Here's the bigger picture. Josh isn't just a random academy kid having a good day. He's a Cobham Diamond. At Chelsea since he was 8, climbing through every age group, signing his pro deal, extending until 2029. This isn't hype. It's years of planning. The club believes in him. Maresca believes in him. And now, after one Premier League start, the fans do too. Look at the interest he's already attracted. Madrid, Bayern, Liverpool, City, everyone knows Chelsea have a gem. But what makes it sweeter? He's one of ours. A Cobham product stepping up when the club needed him most. And this performance didn't come out of thin air. The numbers had already given us hints. In preseason against Bayer Leverkusen, Josh completed all 77 of his passes, every single one. He wasn't dribbled past once, he won every duel. For a teenager stepping up, those are remarkable stats. And today, that same composure showed at Stamford Bridge. When Palace pressed, he didn't panic. When Chelsea needed a passing option, he made the right choice. That's maturity. Not forcing it, not chasing hero moments, just doing the job with precision. So yeah, fans can hype him, pundits can praise him, but the data backs it up. He's not just a feel-good story, he's producing. Of course, all of this plays out in the shadow of Levi Colwill's injury. Losing him is massive. Left-footed, calm under pressure, central to the build-up. Chelsea's system leaned on that profile, and suddenly, it's gone. That's why Josh's rise matters even more. He's not a mirror of Colwill, but he stepped into that backline and brought stability when Chelsea needed it most. And let's be real, the pressure is huge. 18 years old, already viewed as a solution for one of last season's pillars. Most players would shrink under that kind of spotlight. Josh didn't. He just played. Steady, fearless, reliable. And that's why, even on a bleak day for Chelsea, people left the bridge talking about him. So here's the bigger picture. On paper, Chelsea's opener looked like a crisis. A 0-0 at home, no goals, no creativity, and a performance that echoed last year's struggles. Add Colwill's long-term absence, and the mood could have been even darker. But sometimes football flips the script. Out of nowhere, you get a glimpse of something new. That's what Josh Acheampong gave Chelsea. He didn't fix the attack, he didn't create chances, but he provided something just as vital: stability. He looked ready, he looked composed, and he gave the backline a backbone on a day when everything else faltered. This doesn't mean Chelsea's issues are solved. Maresca still has to quicken the tempo, Palmer has to rediscover his rhythm, and the attack can't keep hiding. But in the middle of a frustrating afternoon, Chelsea may have found a defender capable of carrying some of the weight left by Colwill's injury. And that matters, because if the team builds from that anchor, sharpens its play up front, and finds the hunger that was missing, this season could look very different. What started as a crisis might actually be the beginning of an opportunity.